Hey guys, it's Gilly. It's now August 20th, 2017. The last post I did, I think, was about a month ago when I was celebrating 1 year since I finished chemotherapy, which means 1 year since I've been on any conventional toxic treatments for my cancer. And today I want to share some really good news with you because I just received blood test results that I've been waiting for about 3 weeks, which will identify how active my cancer cells are in my body. The blood test measures an enzyme in your blood, and that enzyme is called Nagalase, and it's only secreted by viruses and cancer cells. And so you ideally want the level of Nagalase in your blood to be within the reference range and really at the lower end. The reference range is 0.50 and the highest range is 0.95. And the healthy level that would indicate low to no cancer cell activity would be 0.65. So I'm just going to run through my history of my results so you see how it's kind of gone up and down since I started both my conventional treatments and since I've been off them. This is what I find is just so amazing, and that's why I really want to share this information with you. So I started chemotherapy in 2016 at the beginning of March, and so I had my first Nagalase test on the 12th of March, and that reading came back as 0.90. So that's really at the top end of the reference range, the ideal range you want to stay in. And again, we're aiming for the healthy level, which is 0.65. So my first reading came back as 0.9, and then on my fifth round of chemo, I took the second Nagalase test, and so that was in the middle of June, and that came back at 0.6. So that, was below the healthy level of 0.65. So that was showing that chemo was working very well on reducing my cancer cell activity. This test can be used to monitor progress of cancer treatments. It's great for that. And so that's what I was doing. So that was great. It had gone down to 0.6. So then I finished chemo at the end of July, so then there's August, and then I took the next Nagalase test in September. And that came back at plus 1.09. So again, the top end of the ideal range you want to be in is 0.95, and this September reading comes back at 1.09. So that's above, the range. And when you've got cancer, you really don't want to be anywhere even near the top end of a range. So this was in September. However, I didn't get this result until this year. So I didn't freak out at that result because I didn't get it until later this year. This is why today has been such a great, happy day. And so after September, I didn't get that result, but then I did go back in October because I was getting this test done in Paris. Most of the time I would go to Paris and have a test done. So I had that test done the one in September, but I didn't get the result. And I went back to Paris in October, but I didn't have a blood test done for it. Because I just had it done in September. But then I'd forgotten that I hadn't gotten the result back yet, and it just slipped my mind. I had a lot going on at the end of last year. But then it comes around to 2017, and I know I start getting reminded by my nutritionist that we need to do another Nagalase test to check, my cancer cell activity level. And so it's a bit nerve-wracking because this result is a bit like going for a scan. You're going to find out if you have high cancer cell activity, or when I go for a scan, begging to the universe that there's not going to be anything, no tumor is going to be seen on the scan. So anyway, I get around to mid-February 2017 this year, do the Nagalase test again, and now the it's jumped even higher, the results, and now it's 1.67. So in September it was 1.09, which I didn't know about, and I think I would have freaked out a lot and done something about it had I known it was raised already above the ideal reference range. And then in February, when I called the lab for my results, I asked them for my September results, so it was a double whammy. I got my February result, which was 1.67, plus the September reading, 1.09. So I was really kind of down in February. I didn't even do a video about it because I was so freaked out, but it was a big reason that I really went back into all the reading and researching about what I can do to help my condition and, get these cancer markers back down to the ideal range, because that's everything I'm trying to do, is just to prevent any kind of recurrence. I've been through so much already. I'm prepared to, I've changed my life completely, and it was just so depressing to see those numbers be so elevated. Even though I'd been trying, we're talking about February this year, and so, that's 6 months since I'd finished, more than 6 months, just over 6 months that I'd finished chemo, and I thought I was doing really well. So those, that wasn't a good result day when I got those two results. And I decided to change a few things in my diet. I became a lot more serious about exercising. I think before January, February this year, I was doing maybe two days a week of exercise. And really from January and February, I really started to do it minimum 5 days a week. At least half an hour on my rebounder in my living room. That's bouncing up and down on a mini trampoline, doing like an aerobic workout. So I've really upped the exercise. I cut out a lot of grains from my diet, since I've been reading a lot about how even healthy grains, like even, the gluten-free healthy grains, like the ancient grains that everyone's talking about at the moment, because everyone's going paleo, even those can cause a blood sugar spike. Yet what I've really been working on since February, I think, which is a mix, is definitely something that I attribute to the good news, is that I've really tried to control my blood sugar. So trying to eat less sugary, chocolatey snacks, which I'd kind of fallen into a bad routine of. I also researched a few herbs which can help regulate your blood sugar. So there's two supplements I take which actually curb my desire for sweet things. It's an Indian herb. I found out about that, and then another herb that I take, which can also be used as a natural alternative for a diabetic drug. So it really stabilizes your blood sugar levels. So I started taking those. I've just avoided anything really to make my blood sugar spike. So that's one thing I would say. I started eating meat again. That's probably another thing. People might say, but what? I thought eating meat causes cancer. There are studies which say that, but there's also a lot of new nutritional information coming out of the importance of the B vitamins and vital nutrients we get from eating cows and other animals. So I have started eating meat in small quantities, not too much. I'm really going for a nutrient-dense diet and lifestyle. So I would say I'm mostly like plant-based whole foods, like 80 to 90% of the time. But then I do have an ounce of liver every day, cow's liver. So that's, animal products. I don't have dairy, though. And I would have wild salmon and eggs, free-range organic eggs. So really kind of, tons of vegetables and whole foods, but trying to limit my grains, and then having my liver and my wild salmon. And this is actually pretty much the first diet I was put on when I was diagnosed, funnily enough. I've gone away from it over the last year, and I've tried different diets, and it's just funny that I've now ended up back here, and I just feel the best really eating this way. And it is also the most nutritious way to eat, and filling my body with only good things. So it makes sense that I feel so good. It's just logic. Anyway, so where have I got up to? I think the last level result I got was, I was telling you about, was in February. So I got really depressed, and I did all those changes, and I got my new result, which my blood was taken in the middle of July, and I just got it back today, and the new result is 0.66. So just to remind you, because I've babbled on so much, the result before this one was 1.67, and today I received 0.66. So a whole like 1 unit I've dropped since February, only by lifestyle changes. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention that's very important. I started this hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which I've done a video on already and explained. So that's increasing the oxygen in my cells. I did it for a month, almost every day, and now I'm on twice a week sessions. So that's also a big change. And so, as all alternative medicine, it's really a combination of all the things you're doing. You can't pinpoint it was this that, healed that. You can't do that. That's what the other side of conventional medicine is like, a pill for every disease. So it's really, I can't say what helped me in particular, but it's a combination of exercise, the oxygen therapy, adding more nutrients to my diet. Yes. And keeping and controlling my blood glucose levels. So that's everything I've kind of really changed in the last 6 months. So, okay, I've gone way over time. That was supposed to be like a 5-minute video. Sorry, guys. I will see you soon, and good night.